Hey everyone, welcome to this battle report on Overcharged Plasma Gaming. We are playing ITC Mission 2 on deployment Vanguard Strike. This is for the Great Scottish TTS League that Innes is running. This is round 3. I'm against Dave. Dave won the roll-off and elected to go first with his rather unique army we'll get to in a minute. But before we do, whilst we're over here on this end of the screen, we're going to go over the secondaries real quick. So I've chosen Reaper, Big Game Hunter and Recon. You'll see why Reaper in a second. And Dave chose Recon, Headhunter and Big Game Hunter against my Harlequin army. So let's introduce Dave. Say hi, Dave.
Hello, folks.
So Dave, tell us about, a bit about yourself, what you've been playing, how long you've been playing, stuff like that.
How long I've been playing, I can't remember. It's only been a couple of years. I've been to a couple of tournaments over up and down the country, mostly just down at Caledonia Uprising or up at Stirling at Common Ground Games. Played I've got a group of friends that basically we kind of mingle with, and then we go up and take part in some of the team games. One of the team games that we went, I think it was Clan Wars. I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
I can't remember exactly the name. My memory's terrible. You'll learn that. So went there and we came. That was that was my first time getting like a podium. I came third, which was quite good. I went undefeated in all my games, mostly because I says I don't care who I'm going up against. Just put me against anyone. And it turns out that I was just constantly going up against like super heavies. And when you've got 16 mech guns and a SAG with the relic gun, it kind of makes it a little bit easier. And me saying that, Orks is kind of what I play, talking about mech guns and SAGs. My first army was Necrons. That's when I brutally realised how underperforming they were, because I went to Caledonia Uprising and the first game I played was against 6 Hive Tyrants, and that was terrible. 6 Hive Tyrants, was it those silly, was it Mind Eater, Brain Eaters things, and it was terrible. So it was good fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and so yeah, I've mostly been was it Necrons, and now is Orks.
And
however, with the new stuff coming out, most likely going back to Necrons.
yeah. So how have you been finding the Orcs since they had their is it Saga of the Beast update?
It's been good. It's been interesting. I've tried a few lists. There's one list that I want to try out that I've not tried yet, which is basically a Burner Bomber list with with buggies, because it's just brutal. But buggy lists are quite cool. Fast, less models on the boards, which you'll see what I mean.
Yes.
And I cannot be, when using the buggies, I cannot be done for slow playing, and I don't intentionally try and slow play.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Speaking of a slow play and low model count, shall we have a look at your army?
Yes.
Okay, right. So this is Dave's army, which you would have seen a little bit of in the preview panning shots. But yes, there's a lot of very small grots.
There's 280. If you're including the mech guns, then you've got another 5 times 50. You've got another 50. You've got another 50.
So that's 330 grots. That's a lot of. That's just a lot of wounds, no matter which way you slice it.
Yeah, I mean, I will always be upset when I can't roll a 6-up invuln or a 6-up feel no pain.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot to go through. So there's 3 detachments. They're all battalion detachments. The one at the top is Badman's detachment.
Yep.
So you have my SAG with the relic gun. He's going to be my warlord. He has basically the +1 to wound. Can't remember the name of it, so I'm not even going to attempt to make it. Bash the heads. We'll go with that. But he gets +1 to wound against vehicles and monsters. And he has his best pal, the Grot Oiler, the ablative wound.
Yeah.
So I've also got another HQ, Weird Boy. He's going to have the +1 casting relic, since I don't have any orc boys apart from just characters. And so the +1 cast will help with the jump, or the new psychic power that I'm going to try, which is Gleaming Gear.
Yep.
And basically it means that I get to give a unit of Badmoon's +1 armor. It doesn't affect invuln. Gutted.
Yep. But it could be quite good for this big boy here.
It'll be good for this big boy, which I spent 1 CP to give him. Was it the custom job? Can't remember what the name of the custom job's called, but it's basically it gets +1 ballistic skills. So it's a Morkanaut that basically hits in 4s, rerolling 1s.
Yeah, extra BS.
Yeah, extra BS +1. So and then just box standard 3 units of 10 grots. And the Morkanaut also has the KFF. Now he has the KFF that is the old KFF, which is basically it incorporates all orc units. So every orc unit within range of him can get basically a 5-up invuln. But it's only against ranged.
And it's wholly within 9 inches, yeah.
And it's wholly within 9 inches, yeah. And if you don't know the SAG, well, where have you been?
It's SAG points, and then there's nothing there.
Exactly, yeah.
Is that about right?
don't know what you're talking about. So the next thing I'm doing is next detachment is basically one of the new specialist cultures. Chris helped me with saying that word earlier because I couldn't say the word
culture with a K.
Culture with a K. So I've got a war boss, and I've got a pain boy, and I've got another weird boy. The war boss has basically been given the part of the new Saga of the Beast, which is the deadliest boss, I think it's called.
The biggest boss.
Or the biggest boss. It's one of it was one of them. So the mine sounded better. So the biggest boss. So he gets basically 4-up invuln, +1 wound, and he has an extra attack, and which is quite decent. It didn't come in handy in my last game, but it can be good. Pain boy. Why else would you bring a pain boy, especially when you get 280 grots? Another weird boy, just a box standard weird boy, and he's got the jump.
Yeah.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 30 grots and a unit of 13, just because I want to be difficult.
Lucky number 13, right?
Yes,
they're going to pass every single 6-up save that they have to make for the rest of the game, like calling it
out. That you've just cursed that, so it's not going to happen. I will be extremely upset now.
Part of my plan.
So next unit, again battalion, it's again Grot specialist unit. So it's basically the Run Herder. Run Herder is basically a mini war boss. When you've got the squig, I think it's the Herder squig or the squig herder. Anyway, a Squig Hound, that's what it is. Squig Hound, so it's basically a unit within 3 inches of them. Basically, if they try to flee, they basically eat them, and they take D3 mortal wounds. Yeah. But the Pain Boy can obviously negate that and goes, no. Same with the War Boss. The War Boss, he's got the clunk head, whatever it is. It was bash the heads or bash them heads or whatever. It's got it. Let me hover over.
Breaking heads.
Breaking heads is something to do with heads anyway. Yep. So that's basically D3 more wounds if they fail the morale.
And that's instead of taking the morale casualties, right?
Yes. So, and if any of them did run at some point, then, well, oh God, I've done something wrong. So next is basically...
Well, I mean, it is leadership 4 model.
Pretty much. I mean, I could have put Macari in, and I mean, his leadership's higher, which is insane. But he's the luckiest git. Exactly. I should have put him in a list. I should have. Anyway.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Woulda, shoulda, couldn't, didn't. So Big Mick is the new Big Mick. He's got his wee best pal, Grotoiler, hashtag ablative wound. And his bit, he's basically got the custom force field, which is the new one, which only affects cultured units, which is all these grots. Which is
the majority of the grots.
The majority of the grots.
And is that still wholly within 9 inches?
It's wholly within 9 inches, but it's basically a 5-up invuln towards shooting and combat.
Nice.
So, which is quite good because they've only got a 6-up armor save. Yeah. Well, they've got a 6-up invuln. Yeah. And then again, another box standard weird boy with the jump. So in this unit is basically 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 30 grots. And then these lovely little darlings down at the bottom is 10 mech guns. So it's a unit of 4, a unit of 2, and a unit of 4. Now
They've all got
the
the
Grots,
smasher guns, right?
they're all smasher guns. The new thing about with the specialist culture for Grots is basically they get all Grot units get a 6-up invuln, and basically vehicles get to reroll hit rolls of 1.
Yep.
Which is quite good for mech guns.
Oh yeah, like whatever they shoot at is likely going to die because they wound in a special occasion. So for every shot you roll 2d6, and if you exceed my toughness,
if I equal to or exceed your toughness,
that's it. Yep. So
and then it's -4 and d6 lovely damage.
They love Eldar.
Well, they love poking at the pointy ears.
Yeah. Well, so that is Dave's army. Very unique. When I drew this, I went, huh.
I hate myself for playing this. I don't understand why I played this.
I mean, I don't know why you play this on TTS of all platforms. As lovely as it is, it's not horde army friendly at all.
It is so not.
I get to watch him deploy. I'm going to have a sit here with a cup of tea and laugh.
It's just the fact that it's. At first you think, this is going to be a great game. I mean, I could have made it worse and taken away the Morkanaut and added in even more Grots and just be an absolute worst person on the planet. But I didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's why I took the Reaper, because if I kill, if I kill 2 and a bit of Grot units, which I hope I can, that's 4 points.
Pretty much.
Right. Actually, no, it's every 10 models, isn't it? So, yeah.
Is it not 20?
Oh, yeah, every 20 models. So, yeah.
Every 20 models, so you need to kill
80 Grots and them happy days.
No, you only need to kill 3 full units. I can do math.
Yeah. Math amount of units must die, and then I get math amount of points. Right, so that's Dave's army. Just very quickly go over my army, which you've seen before in rounds 1 and 2. So I've got Craft Wars Attachment, 3 Night Spinners, and an autarch expert crafters and masterful shots. Once again, my opponent cannot see them. I am going to now, after this match, investigate a new workshop plugin for Eldar, hoping that will then fix this issue, because I can't keep doing this, because it's just not fair on my opponent. But David very kindly agreed, so to stop us having to reload the game, basically.
I was quite happy for him not to play them.
Yeah. So once again, I'm using the upscaled Harlequins. Happy days. So I made sure that Dave was happy with the size of them, and happy days. So they will be my proxy Night Spinners. Over to my Frozen Stars battalion, I've got a Troop Master, it's my Warlord, and a Shadow Seer. Troop Master's got Darkness Bite and Prince of Light as his pivotal roles. I paid the CP for that, and he's also got the Player of the Light Warlord trait. So 16 bubble of +1 charge, reroll charge, lovely. Shadow Seer's got Webway, Dance, and Twilight Pathways once again, and she's also got Shield from Harm and Veil of Illusion, so -1 to wound, Harlequin infantry, and counts as 6 inches further away. Really good for negating, let's say, 200 Grot pistols, which can rack up, because Dave is very happy to be wounding someone on 5s rather than 6s with his pistols.
No. 4s.
Shield from Harm. Shield from Harm. -1.
Go away.
Then I've got 3 Harlequin troops, 2 which have a single crest in them, and 3 Star Weavers to transfer them around. I've got my Death Jester, who's got Harvester of Torment and the Relic Sniper. I've got a Death Jester with Humbling Cruelty, and I've got a Solitaire who's got the Relic Kiss, so Teogorax Rose and Blitz. Then 6, I think the community calls them as Hay Weavers, because of the Haywire cannons. So 6 Hay Weavers with Zephyr Graves. I should mention that my Troop Master's got a relic as well, which is the Twilight Fang, so lots of attacks. Then finally, I've got a battalion of Cabal of Blackheart, Archon with Venomblade, Drazar, 3 units Cabalite Warriors, nothing special on them, and then 2 Razorwing Jet Fighters with D cannons. So those are the armies. We're going to come back to you with the end of the deployment phase, which Dave is putting down first, as he wrote and he chose to be the attacker, and then I get to counter deploy and hopefully hide my Night Spinners from those nasty mech guns. So we'll come back to you.
I just don't even know if it's the right thing.
So yeah, Dave was umming and ahhing for about 5 minutes when he won the roll off. He was like, I was hoping that you'd win it.
Because then I don't need to make the decision.
I should caveat with this entire battle report. Dave is feeling a bit rough today.
I even locked myself out of the house today.
Yes, so he had a rough night. Lots of drink was involved, lots of Kraken rum out here. But
yes,
drink responsibly. Right, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you at the end of the deployment phase. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the deployment phase. So, Dave, you deployed first. Your models are definitely on the board. They're very hard to miss.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I need glasses to see things, but I can definitely see them.
So, how did you set up?
Quite fantastically, actually. I've set up with giving myself no room.
Yep.
The Martynas is specifically off the board because, well, I could easily get him on the board, but I don't want him to be on the board because I want him to be basically. I used 2 CP obviously to put him into the teleporter or use the teleporter. Cost me 2 CP, so I'm now. It's basically to give him make you think about right. I can't just like fire all my models forward because he's got everything on the board. He's got everything on the board, and they're all in that direction. So it makes you think about that. You have to block off your board or your side of the board because I could just drop in 9 inches away. Put my SAG up the top so I can. It basically makes you play defensive with your. It restricts basically where you're putting the majority of your other stuff.
Yep. And
it means I know where they're going to be coming from, so I can now that I've seen where you've kind of placed where your stuff is, I can kind of work my tactics around that. Sadly, these 2 big monstrosity buildings are kind of making it harder for my mech guns to actually shoot things, but hopefully you'll be bringing like your solitaire, your troops and stuff like that. So basically, they hopefully get to take some pop shots at them with a 4 pinball nonsense.
Yeah.
And your flyers need to most likely come closer towards me, and I can see them. Apart from that, I've stuck my war boss and a weird boy with the jump under building on my right, and the one that's the SAG. I don't think the SAG's is in the perfect position, but that can change. I might change that. I could always jump him and move him.
Yes.
The relic's down below. Sorry, the weird boy with the relic is down below. He's +1 cast. The pain boy is right underneath that building and in range of just about every grot unit, so they all get a 6 up, feel no pain.
Lovely.
Mech gun right in the middle of basically all the mech guns and a large portion of the grots. I could use my 2 CP basically to give him. I can't remember the name of the stratagem, but it basically goes right. Everything clan-wise within 18 inches now gets the 5 up invul.
Oh, lovely.
And then another weird boy in the back just for
reasons.
Not being able to reasons, just because I could. You don't have anything deep striking wise, so
no.
I could now just pop like those grots, and I could fire them up the board just to make a threat. And yeah, that's kind of it's just plop. There we go. These guys up in the top aren't up in the top building. The ones that are up there, and they are a wee bit too far forward. If anybody sees that, any internet warrior wants to say anything like that.
Keyboard warriors, yeah.
The only problem is that I cannot. I couldn't put them down where those other 2 grots are, behind there, because if I tried to do that, I would pick up these guys that are on the ground floor here.
Turns out having 280 grots is a bit of a pain to move around.
Well, yes. That's why I should have used my burner bomber list.
That would have been great fun.
That would have been hilarious, especially in this game.
Yes.
There's just so much I could do.
So Dave, obviously you're kind of deploying aggressively and defensively because you have enough models to do both at the same time.
Do both. Yep. So come at me.
Whereas my army is very defensive, very defensively deployed, taking advantage of the two buildings. That's why I chose this deployment zone, because the other one we had was the straight 24-inch deep deployment zone. I looked at it, I thought, actually get less coverage because this building is much smaller than this building, so I'll take this one. Even though it kind of cuts across the buildings, I can work with it. So very quickly, I've got two Night Spinners and the third one over here. I've got the Autark hiding out in the corner here with his best buddy, the Archon. Dark Eldar and Craft World Eldar love each other to bits, don't they? So they're having a nice cup of tea. I've got a unit Cavalry Warriors here, another one here, got Drazar here, and I've got a Starweaver with the Troop and the Death Jester with the Stop Overwatch power on him, because that can apply from within a Starweaver. So that's quite handy, just a nice little buggy for him. Then I've got my two Razorwind Jet Fighters blocking off the backboard edge. Because he's got the jump, I have to think about screening out from the get-go. So effectively, there's no way he can get in my deployment zone. He has to come past this red line and then some, with whatever he jumps in. I've got Unit Cavalry Warriors here, just screening out this. There was like a tiny gap here, and I don't want the SAG appearing there, so they're standing there saying, go away. I've got Starweaver with Troop and Solitaire, Starweaver with the Troop and the Master up front, with my unit of 6 bikes hiding from the SAG and the majority of the Met guns. I mean, obviously some of them can shoot, but there's only so much that I can do. Then I've got my Death Chester here as well. That's it. This is what's in the transports, as you can see here. So we'll see how Dave's turn 1 goes. We'll come back to you with the end of the psychic phase. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of Dave's movement phase and psychic phase. So, what happened, Dave?
Grots just started running about in a circle and going, ah! And putting their hands in the air.
Yeah, like they just don't care, waving them about.
Well, exactly, pretty much. So it's kind of... a lot of them moved up. Luckily, I was at the guys in the middle. I rolled a 6 and they moved up 11 inches.
Yeah, which is just up to enough.
Yep, and that objective is now mine.
Yes, it's going to be hard for me to shift them off that.
I mean, you've got a lot of shooting, so you could definitely do something. But yeah, so I've moved. These 3 sags down at the bottom here?
Yep.
Was it rubber that?
Yep.
The blue line, because it's not needed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, all the lovely blue lines to separate each unit. I've got a unit of 10 up the top here with a SAG. This unit here is part of, that's in the middle floor here, is part of this unit that's down at the front next to the crater. Again, another unit of 10 at the top floor. It's just to deny like these planes going anywhere. When it came to the psychic phase, the only thing I did was the jump. Managed to get it off. I rolled a 7.
Yep,
and
that's a dice roll here.
1. Yep, and rolled a 7. So +1, 8. Got it. I was tempted to move my SAG, maybe to put him in a less vulnerable position.
Yep.
But I felt that it's probably a good idea jumping the Grots and try and get this objective. Also, for a wee Brucey bonus, if I'm lucky to get the charge off, because obviously I still need a 9-inch charge, is I might be able to deny this Razorwing jet fighter, and it would have to crash and burn.
Yes. We'll have to see how the movement ends.
Yes.
Because obviously I could get a decent number of attacks back at you, depending on how your charge finishes. So it's not confirmed. It is unlikely you get the 9-inch charge off, because I don't believe Grots get the free rerolls, do they?
They don't.
Yeah, so, but it's something like my minimum move ends about here, which might just be enough. We'll have to wait. We'll have to see. I thought they were safe there. I didn't think he was jumping over here. But this is like my 4th or 5th game with planes, so I'm still learning how they work.
And I genuinely didn't realise until the very start when Chris started moving them that the Razorwing jet fighters don't have like what the Eldar have. Which is
we don't have wings and canes.
Yeah, so
obviously if I pivot,
that to me just went, that's actually brutal. That's pretty brutal. Like I said, if I get this off,
But yeah,
I did think, like I said, I did think about repositioning my sag so you could see something else, like maybe I don't know, maybe
like popping up here or something like that.
Aye, popping up here, shooting at the night spinner and whatnot. But I think at the moment, I think the safest bet is probably something else. So I'm not going to give away any of my tactics.
Cool. So we'll come back to you with the end of the Daka phase. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Orc Daka phase, aka shooting phase. So, Daka. Dave, what happened? I noticed there's a missing plane.
There's a plane missing. My SAG didn't enjoy that plane. It didn't like it didn't like it looking at him. Although it did cost me, was it
4 CP?
Basically, I had to shoot again because I failed. I got three hits on it. I was sadly my strength was strength 4, but because he gets +1, I mean it means I was winning in 5s, but now 4s. And then I got 3 hits. And all 3 of them were 2s, which didn't help. So I had to shoot again, and it was more convincing that time.
Yes, it was.
I got 6 wins. 6 wins, and then it accumulated to 17 wins, and he didn't roll a single 6, which I do feel quite bad. But you know, at the same time, he died.
It's fine. It made up for Andrew having to sink in 8 vehicles from his Hydra list into one of them.
Yeah, but it did cost me quite a few CP.
And I also had to spend some CP as well.
You spent 4 CP to try and keep your Skyweavers alive.
Yeah.
I managed to get quite lucky, even with hitting on 6s, and took out 2 guys, which was quite fortunate.
No, you took out 1 guy.
Oh, sorry, 1 guy. Yeah, sorry, 1 guy. Yeah. But then you used the CP so that they stayed alive. Was it? They've got a 3 pinfall.
3 pinfall. Yeah. To the end of the turn. Yeah.
And then, because there was only 2 guys. There was only 2 guys that could actually see your Skyweavers. So was it basically I had to sink them into the Cabalite Warrior, which I managed to deal some. I've left 1 alive, so hopefully
50-50 chance that he runs at the end of the turn. The reason why he was shooting my Skyweavers is that I made a mistake. I should have put more guys over this end of the deployment area rather than out here. I was too worried about the SAG not being able to see, and in actual fact, they probably would have been fine where they are. Like if put that 1 guy over here, I probably would have been a hell of a lot better. And yeah, it was just unfortunate pacing by me. So lesson learned: don't forget about the 4 smasher guns down on this end of the board.
Pretty much. So yeah, took the Cabalites down. Was it a bunch of, like I said, the Grots that get teleported? They popped a couple of shots at the night spinner. I was going to shoot the Cabalites, but then I thought, well, obviously I'm not going to, because I want to make this thing crash and burn, so it becomes pointless. Yeah. So yeah, the aim is to have these Grots charge these Cabalites, and then basically, I don't really know if I can use the term, but I'm going to C-block them.
So we'll come back. Actually, do you want to do that charge on camera? Because I think that's your only charge, isn't it?
It's the only charge that I'm
right. So we'll do. So who are you charging into?
The Grots into the Cabalite Warriors.
Just the Cabalite Warrior, the Night Spinner as well.
Nope, not touching that.
Right. So we'll do the 4 guys that can see. So there'll be like 8 shots off camera. But just do your charge. Let's see if you can get that lucky number 9.
Come on.
Nope.
I am going to spend a CP to make that 2.
A 12.
Become a 6, so that's a 12.
So we'll let Dave do his movement in peace, and we'll do my Overwatch off camera. So we'll come back to you with the end of the fight phase. We'll just end of turn, actually. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Orc turn. So, Dave, what happened in the fight phase and morale phase?
So, my wee guys, we realised our mistake.
Yeah. Someone has already put it in the comment section going, what are you doing? We checked the codex, and the codex says that you pivot then move, so I'm okay, basically.
Yeah. So was it because
because he hasn't got the Wings of Cain ability? Yeah.
So Chris was quite happy for me to rearrange my Grots, because even though I still rolled a 12-inch charge. Awesome.
Yeah.
it meant there's no point trying to C-block this Razor jet fighter thing.
Razor wing jet fighter.
That's the one, thank you. English is difficult for a Scotsman.
Edgelord plane.
So, so I went for the more, like, let's try and just touch these guys, and then just become a pain in the backside. Tried to wrap them, wasn't able to. Chris sadly the Grots managed to kill one Cabalite warrior, which I didn't want them to do, but they did it anyway. They just weren't listening to the boss.
They just got excited.
They get overly excited, that's very true. So they killed one guy, stabbed him in the eye, probably cut his toenails off, and
his toenails.
using them as teeth, stand-in teeth. So I wasn't able to get the wrap off. I did touch was it Starweaver and the Night Spinner?
Yeah, so you have tagged those two vehicles, but unfortunately the Starweaver is actually quite decent in combat. It's like 3 or 4 attacks, hitting on 4s.
It's
not
that
you
bad.
on 2s because you're a grot.
You call me a grot. But I was able to get to objective 2, so that allows me to get my was it the bonus objective? I got kill 1 because I killed the plane thingy in the shooting phase. I got hold 1 because I'm holding everything. All the objectives at the moment. And I got one for recon because these Grots are doing it for me over here, but this wee guy was initially doing it for me. And Headhunter I don't get anything, but Big Game Hunter I get points because I
took out the plane.
I killed the plane.
So this is the turn 1 dead pile, 4 Cabalite warriors from 1, a Skyweaver, a Razor Wing Jet Fighter, and a Cabalite warrior from another squad. We rolled the morale up. I got a 1. So he's sticking around, he's going, there's only Grots, just remember it's only Grots. So we'll come back to you with the end of the Eldar movement and psychic phases, which I need to make some plays, unfortunately, because there's a literal green tide coming towards me. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the psychic phase in this round 1 for the Eldar. So in the psychic phase, in the movement phase, I fell back with the Night Spinner. I fell back with the Starweaver. He's now out of line of sight and safe as houses. Moved up with the Dark Eldar, who said, "These Grots are mine." Drazar in particular is looking for a snack. The Autarch moved out over here. Death Tester actually stayed still. He's got range and line of sight for what he wants to do. The 2 Starweavers moved up over here, getting a bit more of a commanding position. The Shadow Seer moved up over here to get within 3 inches of a bite that was here, to then move the Skyweavers all the way over here. They did advance 1 time to get up as far as they did, and we'll see what they do in the shooting and charge phases. The Night Spinner stood still, and this Night Spinner stood still. So that's pretty much it. I haven't got a lot on the board, but that's typically how this army goes anyway. We'll see how I do in the shooting phase, which we'll come back to you momentarily. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the shooting phase. So the Skyweavers fluffed massively, doing 1 mortal wound with the haywire onto the mech gun. The Starweaver took out 5 Grots from this squad, and the Night Spinners took away how many mech guns? 2? 2 mech guns between the 3 Night Spinners. The first one fluffed massively, but then the plane took out a 3rd one, so that's quite nice. And hopefully I can wrap one with the Skyweavers just to keep them safe. Not really to kill it this turn, but kill it next turn type thing. Yes, that's the shooting phase. Not a lot done, but what has been done is quite vital. This Cavalry Warrior took a shot and missed. So happy days. So we'll come back to you with the end of the turn summary, basically. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Eldar turn. So the bikes made a 10-inch charge, a lovely 10-inch charge, to get the wrap off on the mech guns. So they're now safe. I can rest assured that they're safe until this big boy on the side of the field comes in, screaming and shoving. They fortunately were able to put all their attacks into the Grots, so they killed off 11 Grots and 1 more died to morale because of his D3 mortal wounds rule. The Cabinet Warriors, the Archon and Drazar absolutely minced the Grot unit. Didn't kill them, unfortunately, didn't quite kill them, but took them down to a small enough number that they won't be much of a pain until they run onto an objective. They also did secure me objective 2, which is quite nice. That's kind of the fight phase. That's the tail of the tape. End of round 1, I got kill more, and hold. Dave got kill 1, hold 1, bonus, hold more because he's hold on 2, and I got 3 secondary points. So it is all tied up, but obviously Dave is in a good position to continuously score more bonus points than I am for a while, so I need to really push up the board. So we'll see how he responds in his turn. We'll come back to you with the end of his psychic phase. Okay everyone, welcome back to the end of the Orc turn to movement and psychic phases. So Derek, why don't you see what happened? Sorry, not Derek. That's someone else in the league. David.
So movement was pretty simple. Can I move forward? Now I've got myself in all the quadrants, so I'm now maxing 2 points in recon.
Yep, we can show that with this.
Yep. So was it this unit's taken here?
Well, you've also got 2 characters over here now as well.
Yep. It's and then these 2 units are in here, but so is my mech gun. So yeah, I'm getting max recon for that. Sorry, not max points.
2 points
that I can get at the moment.
Yeah.
So I've, as you can see, I have teleported at the end of the movement my Martynas. So he's landed there. He is looking to pepper. Hopefully, it's fairly simple what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to try and kill stuff. I'm going to do orky stuff. I also jumped my weird boy over here, and he then cast, because he can cast 2 spells, he cast Gleaming Gear, because he's the Bad Moon's weird boy, and he's put it on the Martynas. So the Martynas now has a 2-up armor save, which is actually pretty brutal when you think about it.
It's nasty.
The other guys were pretty lackluster. This one here, under here, decided he wanted to smite and got it off. However, only did 1 more wound. This guy over here failed, and I also had to spend 1 CP to make sure that the jump went off, because I rolled a 4, and then I rolled a 4, and then I rolled a 4.
Oh no, you rolled a 5 for this.
A 4, 5, 4. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So lackluster psychic phase, but hopefully your shooting phase will make up for it. So we'll come back to you at the end of that.
Yes.
Okay, welcome back everyone to the end of the Orc Daka phase. Brutal stuff. Dave, what happened?
A lot of whiffing and a lot of good shooting.
yeah, it was a very up and down. So we notice that our plane is still here.
Yep. Everything that could fire oat sugar, everything that could shoot at it, shot at it, and
with the SAG, even with the souped up shocker.
Just 5 up invuln, and then was it twice I rolled 1 damage for mech guns
with the CP,
and 2 mech guns missed, and 1 with a CP, and I rolled a 1 again. The Martynas managed to he killed? Oh, sorry, the Grots here were heroically killed 4 Cavalry warriors here. So
it was ridiculous.
It left one left alive.
Mm-hmm.
The Martynas was like, okay, I'm just going to shoot that 1 wee guy, and then he put everything else in the Night Spinner. I did 1 wound to the Night Spinner because I whiffed so gloriously, but then he made up for shooting twice. However, to an extent he did. The Night Spinner
took 9 damage.
Taking 9 damage, so just from rockets. Work that out. 2 shots.
Daka.
Martynas fired. He also fired 6 into his Cavalry Warrior. He just soaked it like a boss. He fired the other 6 into the other unit and just whiffed. And then he fired his Zappa into the Drazar.
Zappa and something else into Drazar, but Drazar did not make it past the Zappa. I thought of vecting his shoot twice, but he's got a second one anyway, so probably just do that. I was thinking I could make him burn the CP and put him down to like 0 CP or something like that, but it just wasn't worth it in the end. And also wasn't worth doing the lightning fast on Drazar. Like, Drazar's are lovely to have this matchup, particularly when you got a vehicle like this in your deployment zone, but you know, like I have to say, I want to save my CP for something else, and ultimately, if he wants to stomp around this area, he can. I can move faster than he can.
There's nothing I can do about that. He just needs to run everywhere.
Okay, so we'll come back to you with the end of the turn. I'm assuming your only real charge is the Martynas into the Autarch, right?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Your mind suited charge because of the creature. Don't forget. So that's an impossible in.
12. Yep. No point.
Well, we'll let Dave think about this and we'll come back with the end of the charge phase. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Orc turn. So, Dave, what happened?
More weapon continued. It's orky. It's just what orcs do. Orcs are really good at it.
Mm-hmm. Good at whiffing the air.
Rolled, got a double 2. Rerolled, got 1 and a 3. So I basically got the same option. Then over this side, you basically annihilated the mech gun that you'd kind of wrapped. So,
but I did take 1 wound for the troubles.
You did. I did. I consolidated so that you can get into this mech gun, but more than likely you
couldn't quite have the back of the base clear that grot there and tag the mech gun, which means I'm going to have to take Overwatch on something. But I'm okay taking a mech gun Overwatch in most cases because it's unlikely you're going to do much to me. So let's look at your points. Yeah, you might call the 1-on-1 wound.
Exactly.
All right, let's take a look at your points. So you got a kill something and a hold something.
Kill something, hold something. I didn't get the bonus because nobody's there.
No.
I think I could still, get hold more by the end of the turn.
It really depends what happens on your one, exactly. I think.
Yep. And then I got 2 points in recon, as I said earlier, because of position. I got 1 point for Headhunter because I got Drazar, and then Big Game Hunter I got another point because I wounded a jet plane that should have died, and I wounded a Night Spinner that should have died.
Yes.
But Orcs.
Yeah, so it's 12-6, so you're doing well, Dave, but we'll see how the Eldar can retaliate, and we'll come back to you with the end of their psychic phase. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the psychic phase for the Eldar. So in the movement phase, I moved up the sacrificial lambs, the Cabalite warriors, to get me to secure me my hold one for the turn. The Archon is hiding very, very bravely, I might add, hiding behind his Night Spinner, away from the Martynas. The Autarch moved over here because this is where my castle is now, apparently. Got a 5 in advance, pretty decent. Can still be hit by the Martynas, but there's only so much you can do, and I can also fire and fade him in if I really wanted to. Actually, no, I can't because he can't shoot anything. There's no legal targets for him to shoot, so I can fire and fade in the Night Spinner, and that's it, for a CP, just to be safe from all of the mech gun and SAG nonsense. The troops disembarked and advanced over here, getting a 1 in my advance and a 2 in my advance, so big rolls. And the Star Weaver just moved over normally, over this way, and then my 2 transports with the guys on the side moved over here with the Shadow Seer who I used the stratagem 1 CP auto advance 6 for an infantry unit. The plane flew over here looking to eye up another mech gun and maybe some grots, and then the Sky Weavers moved up, fell back out of combat so they can shoot, charge in, and then do all the happy stuff. So we'll come back to you with the end of the shooting phase. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the shooting phase. So I took out, I think, 2 mech guns there?
Yep, 2 mech guns.
No, sorry, 3 mech guns.
Oh, yep,
there's 3 dead, and I severely damaged 2 more. The Haywire actually did something, but then failed to do something else.
They nearly did something, and then they did something.
Bit of a spike in there. Other than that, just shooting grots, taking your grots off, trying to clear holes wherever I can, trying to force Dave's hand wherever I can. I totally ignored the Martynas. As far as I'm concerned, that thing can rampage around my back lines. It'll pick off my Night Spinners, but there's only so much I can do against it, and I need to focus on thinning out this horde of grots when I actually don't have that many shots in this army. So that's the shooting phase, basically. In the charge phase, we'll see what happens, and we will come back to you at the end of the turn. Okay, everyone, in the fight phase, I massacred more Grots, funnily enough. I through all my attacks in this unit from these two units here, I killed a grand total of 1 Grot. And it was a 50-50 chance of the Grots then running away. And I think I think 1 or 2 ran away.
2 ran away. Yeah.
2 ran away. So
I rolled a 6.
My rap has broken, but Harlequins do have some tricks up their sleeves to help with this exact situation. So hopefully we can do something funky. We'll have to wait and see, basically, because I need to go and check the codex to see what it exactly does. Other than that, just killing some Grots. Didn't kill any. I wrapped the big gun over here with my Skyweavers, and that was quite handy. So yeah, that's the turn. So at the end of that turn, I did really well in Secretary, so I got up to 3 on Reaper, I got my Matt's Big Game Hunter, I got my second Recon, and I killed 1 whole one. I'm pretty sure I killed more, and I'm pretty sure that Dave holds more. So the score is 15-13 going into round 3. And we'll come back to you with the end of a turn summary for the Orks. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Orc turn. So, what happened in your turn, Dave?
Movement. I jumped movement phase. Basically, moved around this objective, so it's extremely difficult for him to capture it.
Yep.
Because he's coming over here and you're trying to get this objective, or just trying to kill my stuff, which I do not appreciate.
What do you mean?
The units that were here, they get the jumped, and then they move to here out with 9 inches.
Mm-hmm.
The Grots then did a marvellous job in shooting all these troops.
Troops were out, yeah.
Sadly, the Death Jester's still alive.
The Death Jester was very lucky.
Couldn't do anything about these Skyweavers. Literally, my mech gun was 0.1 of an inch. Sorry, 0.01 of an inch. Away further than the Skyweaver, which was further over here.
Yeah.
He wrapped my mech gun. So that was extremely unfortunate. Because I just used the eye and thought I got it. My Martynas whiffed. He
killed 1 Cabalite warrior.
He killed 1 Cabalite warrior. I mean, I get killed. I might get killed more. It might help me.
You're on 4 kill points by my count.
Yep. But he whiffed everything on the Night Spinner, absolutely everything, and on the Outark. The Outark bossed everything. The Grots here shot off the board the 4 Cabalite warriors on his objective. And
oh no, wait, you're on 5 kill points, mate.
Sorry?
You're on 5 kill points.
All right.
For this round.
And the Grots charged in. Luckily, I made a big enough charge so that they could get towards the objective and hold it.
Yep.
My weird boy decided he wanted to mortal wound himself. I'll just actually change that now.
So he pearls for 3 wounds.
Yep, I wish I'd done that for my smite.
Yep. It was a double 6 to give the Martynas a 2 up armor save.
Yeah,
I mean, Martynas not going to get shot anyway, guys, just to spoiler the turn summary coming to you momentarily for the Eldar. In the fight phase, the gun blew up, and that's pretty much it. That's all that really happened. Oh, the Archon killed 4 or 5 Grots, something like that.
I think it was he killed 3 Grots, and then one ran away. One get smacked in. But it's quite a close game. I mean.
Yep. So this is the score sheet as it stands. So it's quite close. It'll be down to the wire. I'm going to blitz through my turn. I know what I'm going to do. So we're going to come back to you with a turn summary momentarily. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Eldar turn. Well, this is the summary, I suppose. You didn't see any else of it. So basically, I swept around here with all my forces in a pattern, and I just charged and yeeted Grots across the board, and it was really fun. So the Skyweavers killed off 2 of the big mech guns, and 1 of the Night Spinners killed off the last one, so no more mech guns, thankfully. I burned his last CP on Grot Shield for the big mech by threatening him with my snipers. I put my Death Jester back in the transport so that he could potentially shut down Overwatch on stuff that he couldn't necessarily see if he was just running on foot, and didn't want to advance him, so that gets past the -1 for advanced and shooting with his assault weapon. And then, as you can see, there's significantly less Grots on the board, because the Solitaire blitzed, took a wound for his troubles in Overwatch, and ran in and just assassinated the Rock
Grots for the
Herder.
win.
He also finished off the Paint Boy. My bikes tried to kill off the Big Mech, but he just bossed all of his saves, and I thought I did not need the 2 CP plus 1 to wound stratagem against infantry that Frozen Stars have access to, but my hubris got the better of me, shall we say. So there's still lots of Grots on the board, lots and lots and lots of Grots, and there's still a Morkenhot in my deployment zone, but I'm kind of like, you can have that. So I need to, it's probably going to be a win to the Orks because of how the bonus works, but if I can breach the middle next turn, that'd be good. And also if I can withstand the onslaught of Grots that is going to be coming my way. But we'll see how that goes. This is the score sheet. So it's all tied up exactly even 2020. Hey, it's the year. It's a particularly good year, right? A fine vintage.
It's the year of the Grots.
So we'll come back to you at the end of the Orc turn summary. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Orc turn. So Dave, what happened in your turn?
Sag whiffed.
Yep.
He teleported from here to here thanks to this weird boy. He did peril in the psychic phase, however. He rolled a double 6. That's twice. At least it wasn't a double fail peril. So he get teleported up here. He shot at the bikes. He hit the bikes, but he rolled strength 2, so he was winning 6s. And
I had the -1 to wound bubble to counteract his Warlord trait, which I paid the 2 CP for at the start of your shooting phase.
And it was yeah. And the Grots all shot at the troops, and because of the -1 bubble, and Grots was it the plus 6-inch range to shots?
Yeah, the Veil of Illusion
was
from
pretty linchpin.
It took out half your shooting.
The Morkenhot shot off the board 1 Night Spinner, so that's me maxing Big Game Hunter.
Yep.
However, he did fail his charge again, so that's 3 charges he's failed, and
he's not going to get
2 charges. So yeah, was it this weird boy did do a super smite on?
Yeah. So he got a 5 and a 6 in the dice, and we checked because weird boys do the special perils thing, but because it's the relic he's getting the +1 to cast from, and not that rule, we don't believe he perils on the 5 and the 6.
I'm not 100%, but if it does come into it, then well, I don't know.
I don't think I'll come into it, and I'm happy to rule, and we've had a chat about it off camera. We're happy to rule that he does not perils. We may be wrong. Tell us in the comments below.
Yep.
As I'm sure the keyboard warriors will do.
Yep. So like I said, the Morkenhot rolled a 5 and a 2, and then so I needed a 4+, and obviously Orc dice. You
can re-roll any or either.
Yeah, any or either, and I re-rolled the 2, and it basically
got you a 3.
50% increase, but I needed 100%.
You should have gone with the clan, which gives you +1 charge, mate.
+1 to yeah.
That would have saved you both charges.
In all honesty, I should have I should have made my Bad Moons Death Skulls. I mean, the shoot twice thing is helpful, but I think I should have went Death Skulls, and it means I could shoot your characters if they came close to me. But that's Orc dice for you.
Right. So your points at the end of the turn, mate.
So the points is I get kill 1. I got hold 1, and I got the bonus because I'm still holding that.
Yeah, you got a Headhunter from the Archon.
And I get Headhunter for Archon, and I get 1 for Big Game Hunter. So I still need to get a Headhunter. Whether that will happen is a totally different story, because you could just hide all your characters and just use your troops and use your Skyweavers to kind of like.
Oh, I don't think I'll be doing anything like that. I think I'll just be sending them out to kill everything.
That's what I mean, and so I think it's good. I think depending on how well my saves are, is now.
Yep.
Or
get rid of that 5 up, 6 up, as it's ridiculous. Grots passing saves. What is this nonsense? Anyway, we'll come back to you with the end of the Eldar turn. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Eldar turn, and what a demoralising turn that was. Because so you can see there's a lot of Grots still left on the board, and I was hoping that there would be a lot less Grots left on the board, and basically dealing with some characters in the Morkenhot going into the twilight hours of this turn. So I moved the Death Tester out of the rune here just to block line of sight from the Morkenhot here. when he comes swinging round, move the Night Spinner out as well, just to again make it a bit more annoying for him. I shot the bikes moved the bikes up like this, and I shot this unit of Grots with them, trying to clear a path. But Dave's the tail of the tape is 5 up, 6 up in Feel Pain.
Well, was it after all the shooting? I had 4 Grots in that unit left.
It's ridiculous.
By the end of the fight phase, I only had 2 left.
Yeah, so
3 left.
I killed
one lost morale.
Pretty much the majority of my Harlequins. There was a unit that snaked like this into the building. They fought them, they shot them, they got 22 Grots and 1 ran away because of the D3 mortal wounds. And it's ridiculous, like, so the Solitaire charged in there, didn't make a great charge. He finished close enough to this Grot so that he could just flip over him, he touched him on his head, booped the nose, and did do 3 wounds to the War Boss, but if I needed him to take out the War Boss, and this may have thrown the game up in the air, because if you look at the score sheet at this phase, it is... I only got a kill 1 and a hold 1. Only killed 1 unit this turn. And Dave is up by 5 points going into round 5, so it was brutal. I mean, the fact that the Troop Master was trying it fine with 10 attacks and 2 mortal wounds killed 3 Grots. Put it that way. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I hate this.
And 2 of those were the 2 mortal wounds, yeah.
We're going to come back to you with a round 5 summary of both the player turns. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the round 5. So very close. I was able to kill the War Boss in combat with Starweaver of all things after shooting at him, and I was able to clear out a whole lot of the yellow Grots and the Sag as well. It's very, very close going into this round 5, but I think the round 6. I think Dave's going to get it because he's going to get the bonus. He's going to get a hold, and he's going to get a kill because he's got a Starweaver and 1 wound. And even if I get a perfect primary, I think Dave has just snuck us out by 4 points. So we'll see how we come with the round 6 summary. Okay, everyone, welcome to the end of the game. So Dave, what happened in your turn?
What happened in my turn was my Morkanot shot at the Starweaver. Attempted to shoot the Death Jester and the Night Spinner just to be a wee bit of a pain in the backside, but there's nothing I could really do. I moved my weird boy over here so that he was out of line of sight, but he was within range of the objectives. But the Death Jester could... The
bike's just advanced over there.
And the bike's, yep. So I was like, I'll go after the Death Jester. And then he just went, oh, by the way, these can go 20 odd inches. I was like, oh.
22 inches automatically, love it. And then I just put the rest of my forces. And without the leadership buffs, I realised, we'll talk about it at the end, but I realised I made a mistake in the early game, which probably cost me the game, which you can see on the score sheet here. It is a 35-31 victory to Dave, which is, I'd say, is a very close game. I'm very happy with the 31-point loss. It's probably cost me the league, so thank you. It was 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. That was a really brutal game. I mean, what were your thoughts on it? Like, what would you do anything differently? Like, obviously, we will say and we will disclose this game did take over 3 hours. But when it's all,
and I do apologise. I can only apologise.
If I wanted to be a real gamey bastard about it, I could have put us on a clock, but because we have the luxury of playing in our own time, we have a week to play the game, we thought, right, let's just have fun with it. But if you ever come across a list with 280 Grots at a tournament, stick him on a clock and win and win a round 2.
Definitely.
Seriously.
100%.
But I wanted to see if I could handle it. So really, it should be a 35-31 to me, right?
Yes. No, it shouldn't even be a 30. It shouldn't even be. It should be 35, like maybe 9 to me.
I was curious to see what would have happened. But I thought it was a really fun game. What I realised in round 3 was if I can take out his leadership characters, the Grots will Scarper, because that's what was keeping the Grots in. It wasn't the Invul, it wasn't the Feel No Pain, even though they were disgusting. If I take out the Rotten Herder and the War Boss, but I needed the War Boss to die in round 4, because he lived into round 5, it really, really put the pain on me. Because I reckon you would have had like 20 Grots left in round 5 otherwise.
Was it that I wouldn't have got
The bonus.
the one thing that I'm quite fortunate for is that in round 4 I got Killmore, which was pretty, because you should have, in all honesty, should have killed that 30-man unit easily. But
I think it was something like 15 5-up saves.
Yeah, 15 5-up plus 6-ups for Feel No Pains, and it was just because of that. The only kill point you got was you smiting that one wee grot that was left alive, and that I couldn't go anywhere with him. But it was a pain in the backside that my big mech with the KFF, he rolled a 1 in his advance, so
so you got stuck.
So you get stuck, and then my weird boy is just like, "Move, you grot!" And so he just couldn't go anywhere. But the war boss was niche, I think, for that point. For you, I think, in my honest opinion, your MVP was this wee guy over here. This one wee guy.
Back in round 1.
Back in round 1, he just needed to fail leadership. He didn't. It stopped my Martynas from being able to have free reign kind of over in this corner. But it didn't help that he whiffed his first round of shooting, even though he used 2 CP, and then he did his job then. And like you said, don't rely on dice, which, I mean, especially when you roll 4 2s.
I mean, my troops didn't take that much firepower, but when they did, they just filled their 4th invulnerable. So you really can't rely on the dice going your way. I'll actually disagree with you. My MVPs were the Skyweavers. Mm-hmm. The Skyweavers were absolutely glorious,
and I couldn't do anything to them as well.
They came in round 1, wrapped a guy, killed a guy, wrapped a guy, killed a guy, shot some, killed some. Just basically, if I didn't have the Skyweavers in this, if I had, let's say, more troops or even more Dark Eldar stuff, they wouldn't have been able to handle the mech guns.
Yeah,
well, and the mech guns were actually a very minor factor in this game.
They were, and so was my SAG. My SAG might have been
maybe I should have killed I should have committed to the SAG earlier, but because the Skyweaver bases are so big and they're my only unit to really reach out and touch them, it was really hard getting anywhere within range. And I have to say, you got to jump off far more often than any Orc player without boys in his list should.
Well, playing again every single time I played against Tim Dagnall. Every single time I played against him, which I think is 3 times now, I've failed the jump every single time.
So I'm getting all that action. Cheers.
Yeah, pretty much. It's brutal. But those troops, man, are absolutely insane. And that aura at the very start of the add 6 inches to your range weapons.
Well, you've only got a 12-inch gun.
Exactly. The Grots were I'm like, oh yes, my Grots can hit in 3s. There's still more than 20. I can take out those troops. Yep. Oh, by the way, you've got to add 6 inches to that, so you've got less of a range. And I'm like, oh man. And I thought my Martynas would be able to get to where he was last round, and then he was in range of the troop to try and pepper some of them. But then
I said the 6 inches.
The 6 inches. It's no boasting or anything. That 6 inches is just.
Sometimes
brutal.
6 inches is enough, as
people
people do say sometimes.
Exactly. But I think the scary part was this Martynas having a 2-up armor save is pretty brutal.
Well, the thing is, if he was put anywhere near the Skyweavers, I would have shot him.
Yeah.
But because I did not want to spend 2 turns going there and dealing with him and then coming back, I couldn't afford to.
Yeah.
That was the one good thing about putting him where you did. You did say that you should have maybe put him in the middle so he was more of a factor, but I disagree. I think you've put him right because it made me split my forces. It made me run away from the objective that I need to defend. The one thing about Harlequins is that you need to be the aggressor and you can't just sit back on the objectives, particularly in this where you place the objectives. Yeah. It would have been a very different game if we were placing the ones that we had to defend, but because we're placing for each other, honestly, the bonus won you the game. If you didn't get the bonus as much as you did, if you got the bonus 5 times, so if you got it 1 less time, I would have won the game.
It was quite lucky that at turn 1 I got a 12-inch charge on the Grots with the CP reroll. It was pretty.
I held objective 2 once in the game. I think maybe twice.
No. Yeah.
Because from round 3 I controlled objective 1.
You held it for 2 rounds because at the end of your turn, I wasn't able to because I didn't get the bonus in turn 2. But yeah,
it was brutal.
That was a brutal game, and all I can say to folks is that Chris is a fantastic player. He was. I can't stress enough how much I appreciate him having to have the patience, because I thought it would be so funny going into a tournament and playing with 280 grots. Never. If you ever play against someone that has 280 grots, it's timestamp them.
Yeah,
I could have won as fast as I could.
I could have won in round 2, and you would have been able to not move, not shoot,
exactly.
Only taking saving throws, and that's it.
Exactly. I mean, I tried my hardest. I said, I'm not slow playing you. I'm going as fast as I can, but mouse click, everything, and yeah, it's way too difficult. I never want to play this list again.
Well, you got to play it 2 more times, unfortunately.
Soul destroying. I know, it's so soul destroying though. Oh my god.
Well, next time I'm playing you, I'm putting you on a clock.
That's fine. Oh,
who was your MVP? Who was your MVP?
My MVP, I think, would have to be my KFF.
Yeah.
Just because of the amount of 5-up invulns that I was able to get off, and the fact that it's now combat now, it's just it's brilliant.
See, I think it shouldn't be combat as well, but that's because I had a lot of I should auto kill grots, and then even then the grots would have a 6-up invul natively. But anyway, we're gonna end the battle report here. Do you have any shout outs to do? Any communities you want to shout out?
Shout out to my mum, because she was the one that gave birth to me. Shout out to Derek and Nairn of our and Colin and Sean, because it's our kind of group. There's you've also got the Scottish Fanatics, East Kilbride Scottish Fanatics Club. They sometimes go there. It's not now, obviously, but there's a bunch of nice guys there, and they've been doing quite well for the community, especially for people with disabilities and stuff like that, and getting them involved into the game. And it's actually helped with that service user. And apart from that, and to yourself, thanks very much for having me.
No worries. Thank you for agreeing to film the bat rep. Not everyone wants to put their pride and joy in the line, and thank you very much for having the patience to carry on this game as well, as long as we have. It's a ridiculously long game. The longest game of 40k I've ever played. I'm absolutely fatigued.
I am as well. I'm absolutely shattered, and I was hungover for half of it.
Yeah, that's why I was really hoping to finish it last night.
Yes, I know, and I do apologise.
Anyway, as the guest, you get to flip the table. And the winner, of course, you get to flip the table. So.
No. I think you should flip the table because you've had to put away my 280 grots. So you have
fair enough.
I honestly think you should do it.
If you insist. What shout should I do? I did Hadouken last time. I think because of the grots and the way they won. Anyway. Thank you very much today for coming and hanging out with me for the better part of a whole day.
Very much.
And thank you very much for watching all the 2 viewers that I have on this power report. So please like, comment and subscribe. And you can see there that the Morkarot, the war boss and everyone is dead now. So thank you very much. Like, comment and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the round 4.